What's going on, everybody? Here we are, live before lock, Thursday, March 21st. It may be the beginning of March Madness, but we've got a 6-game slate to talk about, and it's not too shabby, all things considered.
I like it.
So do I, and I'm kind of hoping that nothing crazy happens in the next hour. There's been a lot of scramble and recrunch over the past couple days. I think we're good for today.
I'm a big fan of the crazy, but again,
I don't hate it.
I don't either.
I like it a lot more on days where I'm not live.
That's very understandable. I always feel bad for asking, you or whomever, like, hey, you want to host a show with me? And they're like, well, here's the thing. My ROI goes down 20%.
Yeah, I'm used to it. I don't mind it. Not the best.
Sucks, bro.
So, I ask you the same question to start every time. Shout out promo code live before lock and what's up to thrive. We'll get to some of that throughout the show.
Tease.
Yeah. What is the piece that you're looking at the most on this slate? What catches your eye more than anything else?
You'd think I'd be ready for that question one of these days.
That's how I feel about trying to put the link to Thrive in chat. Is it Andre Drummond? Is it DeMarcus Cousins? Karl Anthony Towns? Nikola Jokic? It's a center grab bag today.
Yeah, they're all great. Yesterday was a weird day for me, and I felt good that I spent a few minutes at the beginning of the show saying, today is a point guard and utility spot for me. 5 of my top 11 projected guys, I think, were point guard only on DraftKings. So I went, look, I would very frequently, I end up with center. It is almost certainly the lineup construction. I don't know if you'd agree with me here, but I think the majority of the lineups I build in DraftKings, which again is 1 a day that is not played as opposed to, or 2 a day, counting cash, as opposed to you 685 a day or whatever it is. But I think the majority of mine would have center construction as the most frequent guy in a utility spot.
Makes sense to me.
But yesterday there was just a superfluity of dudes who were point guard only, and that worked out pretty well. The 3 guys I said I would start with scored, I don't even know, 180 or something, so that worked pretty well. But yeah, today seems like center makes a lot of sense again. There are a number of plays, I think Towns and Drummond and Cousins and I'm skipping one are a tier above the rest. Jokic. And I think at their prices on DraftKings, I slightly have, no, I can't. Yeah, they're all pretty damn similar for me looking at it. So yeah, those 4 guys sort of screams out that you should be playing 2 of them.
Yeah, I have Jokic, or I have Towns beating Jokic 51-49, and we're talking like percentage of the time. I have Jokic beating Drummond, or Drummond beating Jokic 52% of the time. That's relative to their salary. So 3 coin flips right at the top for me.
Yeah. I was about to say, wow, then you must really like Drummond, but okay.
Yeah. And then Jokic beats Cousins relative to salary 54% of the time. So I've got 4 guys, which is basically just, pick whoever you want, whatever makes that lineup work for you.
Yeah.
Because they're all in 4 very kind of, Jokic and Towns are kind of close, but the $900 gap between Jokic and Drummond that's a lot.
On FanDuel, it's Jokic pretty significantly over those other 3, I think.
Yes. He is my number 1, and the gap is a little bit bigger. Doesn't mean that Towns and Drummond aren't appealing because they are.
Obviously the matchup.
And we also bring in Rudy Gobert into play on draft or on FanDuel.
Yeah. No, certainly never going to be out of play. And FanDuel 3 per block is Yeah,
he can put them up. That's for sure.
Let's see. Let's talk about Dallas and Sacramento. What do you? So Tim Hardaway is out. I have Dorian Finney-Smith at 31 minutes and Justin Jackson at 26. I'm not terribly confident in those numbers with Maxi Kleber back.
Okay, so you didn't give anything to Trey Burke in that scenario?
I think I have Trey Burke for 14.
Okay, I gave Burke 20.
Oh, okay.
I didn't go as heavy to Justin Jackson, although maybe I should have.
Well, I mean, he obviously got the pile of time last night.
Yes.
Which I'm really neither here nor there on. And again, I brought it back somewhat to 26, but running Burke out there, if you're going to play Powell and you're going to play Luka, and that's going to, not Powell, excuse me, if you're going to Brunson and Luke, and that's going to consume a lot of your point guard minutes. Tim was starting at we'll call it the 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I there's a real chance to me Burke's position in the rotation isn't affected that much, just because the guard rotation is sort of standard. If you want to say Tim Hardaway Jr. was the 2, then it's sort of interesting because of the fact that you have Luke as sort of a giant 1.
I don't know what to think. They can really massage this so much just because of Luka being so positionally agnostic.
Right, and if Kleber hadn't come back, I'd have been really excited about a couple of these guys. Kleber coming back now, like I'm not gonna get DFS getting that time at the 4, and plus it's worth pointing out Justin Jackson and Dorian Finney-Smith are not fantasy producers.
No.
These are not guys who score a lot, and Sacramento is a better defensive team than they get credit for. It's not a matchup I'm scared of, but it's not like I hear people put them in the same breath as the Suns sometime, and that's it's incredibly unfair.
No, the Kings' defense is good. They just happen to play at a high pace, so if you're looking at the wrong things, it comes off differently.
Right.
Whereas the Suns are just an abject failure everywhere.
Yes, and they play fast, so it's a win-win.
Right.
Dallas announcer said last night that Justin Jackson likely, quote, gets minutes tonight, close quote, against his former team, it says in our chat. Well, I'm sure I projected for 26. I mean, that's a pretty goddamn healthy number for Justin Jackson. Like, I still have very little not much interest in the world of, Troy Brown and Tyreek and other guys on DraftKings.
Yeah.
But, I ranked him. I probably, I don't know, $4,100 Dorian Finney-Smith or $3,000 Justin Jackson, I guess, is Justin Jackson, but I'm thoroughly ambivalent on the situation. What do you have for like Bagley and B-Elites, and how do you see that shaking out? I think that's really interesting. B-Elites more on FanDuel, Bagley more on DK. I think that's a conversation worth having.
Yeah, I gave B-Elites 25 minutes. I got Bagley to 28. I'm getting quite a bit of Bagley on DraftKings, a little bit on FanDuel. I'm not really getting too much Bielitsa, which gives me pause.
Yeah, I mean, Bielitsa got 28 in this last game. So here's my concern. The Bagley thing, and I got some real pushback on Twitter, was kind of a bit of a fish play last game. Like, a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, I was sure the minutes were going to come up, and I saw no reason why they wouldn't. And they specifically said he would play limited minutes in that game.
Yeah, I certainly did not see 20. I would have said like 26 is probably a ceiling of minutes. I think I projected 24.
So what happened is after the 76ers game, I think it would be his 3rd game ago. So after the 76ers game, 3 games ago, Yeager in an interview immediately preceding the game said, it broke my heart to take him out of that game. He was playing so well, but he's on a minutes limit, and I have to do what our athletic staff says, and he's going to continue to be on a minutes limit for at least the next couple games. That's, I believe, almost verbatim. I could be getting a word wrong here or there, but you can Google it. It's not too hard to find. And then 2 games later, he played 29 minutes. So
maybe that's right. Before the injury, he was playing 37, so maybe 29 is still a minutes limit.
Yeah, but I mean, he yanked him in the game in which he said that after 20 or 21.
I was shocked that he played 29 minutes.
So, right.
Particularly at center.
So I'm going to, and keep in mind, Bielitsa had 5 fouls. So I'm concerned. If he plays 28, 30 minutes tonight, I'm not shocked. If he plays 22 minutes tonight, I'm not shocked.
Neither am I.
Like, they're out now. Like, they were futzing around with 2 minutes, 3 minutes, so it's pure development. It's pure, like, they're not gonna, play him more to win games. And in that last game, they went, pretty small. I think Billy Cauley-Stein played 19 minutes in that game, and then there was the foul trouble on Bielitsa, and I think it just sort of got away from him. I am at 24.
Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with you.
Yeah, it's just, no, I'm not trying to start an argument. I'm just saying I'm pretty sure he's going to be fairly popular. I still like him fine at 24.
Yeah. There's upside there in the price tag. as well.
Yeah, he's going to be 15, 20, 25% owned. I have him at 24 and I think 27.5 fantasy points, which at 5,600, certainly there's an upside there. But so I have some concern about it. That was a long conversation to say. I'm a little concerned the minutes come back down on Bagels.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable thing to point out. You do want to proceed with some caution there because there's ambiguity in it that we just can't know right now.
Right. So just as coach, wanted to mention that.
Yeah, no, I get it. As for Sacramento, like in this game, I can't get away from Buddy Hield for like what feels like the 1,000th day in a row.
Yeah, I mean, he shot badly recently, but he still just projects really well for me. The matchup is great, although it's worth pointing out it gets nominally more difficult with Tim Hardaway Jr. out. You'd rather have him out there than DFS, who I think is the largest contributor, but that doesn't matter for nothing. But yeah, I like Bagley.
He was 0 for 8 in his most recent game from 3. He has a 2 for 8, a 1 for 9.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to keep shooting, I'm going to bet on Buddy Hield eventually having a good one of those days.
Yeah, I want to play Buddy Hield and not Jabari Parker because Buddy Hield is shooting 20% from the field and Jabari Parker is shooting 63. And I think those numbers reverse themselves at some point. I don't hate Jabari Parker. Now Ariz is out and, yippity skippity. It certainly works okay at his price, and it would be an ownership thing. If he's 10%, I'm fine with Jabari Parker. If he's 20%, I'd probably try to look elsewhere. So that sort of thing.
I think you're looking elsewhere.
Yeah, I'd look elsewhere.
We just got an ownership update as you started saying that, so I'm dropping that into my sheet right now.
Delicious. Yeah, I mean, he's shot. I don't know if he shot under 50% in his last 10 games, or he did it once. Like, he's shooting 70, 80, 60, 70. Like, this will not continue ad infinitum.
He is at 18% on DraftKings right now.
Yeah, I'd want less. Like, I just presume someday he will not shoot, 9 for 13. Like, you're going to get a 5 for 13 game, and the price has come up, and he's fine. Ariza being out, he won't lose any minutes. Could pick some up. Maybe they all get dumped on Troy Brown. That they seem to trust him. His minutes have been, as much as they could give him in the past. You get a Ariza out of there. I have Troy Brown for 30. Hold on. 3 right now.
Minutes?
Yes.
I have him in for 28 because I might get like 700% of him if I went any higher than that. I already have him in what amounts to every lineup that I'll play tonight. I mean, yeah, essentially.
I can see, on FanDuel, if you have $300 and want to be kind of cute, I can see playing Miles Bridges with them having a couple guys out to get him at 3% as opposed to Troy Brown at 58. Or whatever the hell he's going to be on FanDuel.
47 is the prediction right now.
47, sure. Like it's going to be a number. So I can see pivoting to some of those other cheap guys. Unfortunately, Tyreek isn't anywhere near that price anymore on FanDuel.
Can we talk about him for a second?
Shoot.
This is a guy that has basically been a thorn in the side of everyone in DFS this season.
Yeah.
There was a stretch when Oladipo was out before he went like out, where I mean we were all just like, yeah, well, Tyreek. Every time Tyreek did this last year for the Grizzlies, he got X amount of additional minutes, and he's at this, and all of a sudden he just wouldn't get those minutes. Yep. It was like he was resigned to 20. And sure as shit, when I didn't see it coming, 29 minutes last night.
Yeah,
I gave him 26 for today, and I'm getting an abundance on DraftKings.
Yeah, I really, really like him. It's just a ball and hands issue. And I think this may have actually been Collison's first misses of the year. Someone can check me on that. He's been questionable like 13 times. I'm not sure Darren Collison missed a game this year until this week. So the thing was, even with Depot being out a ton of the time, you still had Collison bringing up the ball, and everyone passed the ball to Collison, and everyone knew Collison, and Tyreek was just, this guy who came in on a free. Just he was getting the Biombo treatment. He wasn't touching the ball. Now they don't have a goddamn choice.
Yeah, he's played 71 games this year, so it sounds like he hasn't missed until now.
Yeah, I don't think he actually missed a game. And yeah, if he's played 71, then
if he did, it's one.
He could have missed one.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know what the Pacers' record is. I just know that he's played 71.
Right, so I think that has a lot to do with it. I like him a ton when he doesn't put his hands on the ball that much. I don't think he's out of play on FanDuel at all. At 3,500 on DK, if I'm building one tournament lineup, like I did build one tournament lineup, I build one every day. It has both Brown which is Troy, by the way, not Tony. Shout out to the Warriors announcers who got their own player's name wrong about 13 times in the last week. It has Troy and Reek in it. But if I'm building one tournament lineup, I probably play Reek. Again, ownership on DK, I'm guessing, is 50 to 25. I'll throw numbers, something.
I will say that my top ranked lineup from my last crunch has both Troy Brown and Tyreek Evans in it.
Yeah, as it should.
Yep.
They are superlatively the best value. I don't know where I go with the third guy under 4K, but those guys are number 1 and 2. Might be Justin Jackson at this point.
I have a hard time calling Tyreek Evans Reek now after Game of Thrones.
That's fair. Okay. Call him Evans. That's fine.
Yeah. Should we just start calling Tyreek Evans Theon Greyjoy now? That'll probably make it easier.
Someone says, how much do you have him projected for? I have also 29 minutes, and I have 32 and a half DraftKings points.
On Tyreek?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be in like 700% of my lineups. I only have him projected for 25.6 DK points, and I have him in like 60% of my stuff right now.
Yeah, I have him obviously well higher. He also has a very good section in my notes against Steph, against Clay, against the Warriors. I don't have it up in front of me, but if you looked at his history with Memphis and going back years before that against this team, which again, head-to-heads and matchups and stuff are between for some matchups they're irrelevant. For some matchups they're legitimately distortive. So being like, this guy has been this good against this team is a horrific thing to ever do and look at. That being said, Golden State is one of the better ones if you're going to do it. They've had Steph and Clay out there for 90% of games for 4 years and run a very similar system that entire time and had the same coach. Usually you have a different player in the backcourt, or you have a different coach, or they have a different system, or something the hell happened. Now you have Cousins in the paint. That's pretty different over the last X years. But that accepted, it's not super relevant, but it still does bear a cookie for me. Someone who plays point guard or shooting guard who has been good against the Warriors for several years is of some merit to me.
Okay.
And I imagine Tyreek Evans has been.
There's really only one other person in this entire game that is tickling my fancy, and it's only on DraftKings.
Boogie.
Very much Boogie.
Boogie. Yeah, he's really good. I currently I have him in the one cash DK lineup I built. I do not have him in the one DK tournament lineup, which is sitting on Towns and Drummond presently.
Reasonable.
I have a bit of concern with the minutes, as in 25 as opposed to 30 potentially.
Yeah.
But
that scared me a little bit.
Right. That is the one thing where you don't go, geez, 60. But he's also the only guy who, if you want to go back and look at anything like matchups, looks at all good in this spot. I'm top of my heading this, but if you look at Steph versus the Pacers, or Durant versus the Pacers, or Draymond, you're going to have one stupid Clay game if you look. I'm fairly certain I recall like a 65-point game out of Clay. Outside of that, that there's really nothing great out of these guys. They've been consistently a good defense, share the ball, yada. But Boogie used to regularly beat the shit out of the Pacers and Miles Turner. So, and again, 6,800. So as opposed to 92, 94. There's, and that's aside of the more important information like the metric, the matchup, and all that other stuff. But yeah, by any count, Boogie is my favorite Warrior by a pretty significant stretch.
Okay. Are you looking at anybody else from the Pacers?
If I'm playing 150 lineups, I would have some small amount of Corey Joseph and Bojan and Thad and Miles and Domatis, but not anything that I'm super excited about or want to particularly talk about. I probably want, based on the rotation, Sabonis more than Miles Turner.
Yeah, it's really hard to get to Miles Turner. I have Boogie projected for 10 more fantasy points in the exact same game.
Yeah, and it's exactly. Center, and normally I'm a big fan of spreading your wings on guys with upside. Miles Turner, certainly, Miles Turner I would like more on FanDuel than DraftKings. The other center prices are less ridiculously good.
Yeah.
and he gets 3 per block. And if you're getting there with Miles Turner, it's on the back of 7 blocks.
Yep.
But this isn't a Golden State team that gets blocked that much. And it's just dicey. I could get there on FanDuel. DraftKings in 150 lineups, I would literally have something like, I don't know, probably close to 50 Tyreek Evans, and then something like 2 Miles Turner, 4 Domantas Sabonis, 3 Bojans, 3 Thads, 2 Corey Joseph. I mean, it would be something pretty damn nominal after that.
Alrighty.
Jamal Crawford, someone in chat. Someone's listing their core value. Troy Brown, Tyreek Evans, Josh Jackson, and Jamal Crawford.
One of those things is not like the other. Crawford. One of those things just doesn't belong.
Ebert. Yeah, that's and again, I will give Jamal Crawford credit for being a very effective point guard here. Like, it's not.
I was just going to give him credit for still being in the league.
That too. Guys like 3 years younger than me and in slightly better shape and doing slightly better on the court. But his ability to play point guard this year has really impressed me. I will say that. There's been a couple games where he came out and was very, very, very good distributing the ball when the team needed it, for what it is worth. But yeah, I'd be on Jackson number 2 before I went to Jamal Crawford. I'll play Justin Jackson, just hope demise on minutes before I go there, I think.
Yeah, speaking of Justin Jackson, that's a conversation we need to have. Not Justin Jackson. Speaking of Josh Jackson.
Oh, okay.
And the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
How do you feel before I give you my thoughts, even though it's pretty clear where my thoughts are?
I like him a ton.
Okay, thank God.
Some people are down on it. There's just too much ceiling.
I have so much of him, it's insane.
Okay, good. Yeah, so all right. So these two teams played earlier this year. You got 50 out of Booker, and you got 50 out of Ayton in that game, who handled himself very well. Missed like a shot, as I recall. Handled Drummond okay. Didn't foul. He had like 3 fouls. He played 35 minutes or something. Like, you looked very good in that matchup. He'd be like center 7 for me still. On DraftKings, because again, everyone else is insane, and it is a legit bad matchup. Obviously, your rebounds are going to suffer, etc., etc. I'm not really interested in going back there, and I think that was, they've played each other once, but I think that was better than you're generally going to get out of Ayton by a pretty significant amount. But he had literally about a 50 burger, give or take a point or two either side. That is not a matchup I think they want to attack. I don't think they're going to be like, yeah, go post up Andre Drummond a million times. So
no,
who's going to score the ball for this team? You have, McCall Bridges out there. He's not going to do a whole hell of a lot. You're going to probably start Dragon Bender or something. He's not going to do a whole hell of a lot. So you have Devin Booker. Whatever he doesn't do, Josh Jackson is going to do. And that's a guy who never met a shot he doesn't like, who has missed some time the last couple of games due to foul trouble. I'm at 35 minutes. I don't like the matchup. I don't care.
I have him at 32 minutes right now.
Yeah,
I got 43 on FanDuel. I'm about to recrunch DraftKings, but I know that number is going to be bigger than that.
I got you on Bogut the other day, our first minutes bet. I got you by a minute.
You did.
So today, what we have 2 so far. I have Josh Jackson at 35, and what was the other one? Troy Brown?
Brown. Somebody from the Mavs. Justin Jackson? No,
it was Justin Jackson. I have at 26 and whatever 30. It was someone I said 30. It's Troy Brown, because I said I have him at 32 minutes. You went, I have him at 28. And I'm getting
you're right.
If I boosted him to 30, whatever. So we'll put these on the imaginary board.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. Which 2 would you play on power forward on FanDuel out of Bagley, Portis, and Jackson? I'd play Portis and Jackson. In fact, I think I took Portis out, but in my FanDuel hypothetical GPP lineup, hold on, I'm switching over now.
It's Bagley and Jackson for me.
Fair. Right now I have Saric and Jackson.
This was FanDuel power forwards?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Bagley and Jackson for me.
Okay. I have Saric and Jackson. I don't mind Bagley and Jackson at all. Yeah, I expressed my concern, but still, who cares? Like, he's very good. Match was fine.
Actually, I don't know would I have Saric?
I kind of like punting Saric. He's 4K. I liked Saric, the whole time, and now you got the Taj thing, and
I have Sarge would be fourth for me behind Josh Jackson, Bagley, and Blake.
Blake? Yeah. Who was your third? Was it Blake?
Yes.
Yeah, that was my guess. I'm fine with that. I like hedging front courts. Again, I'm always looking more at the single lineup builds. Sure. So I like sort of hedging the front court. So on FanDuel, I have Jokic. Well, I like getting Blake because I'm getting some leverage against the people who are going to play Drummond, yada. On DK, I frequently end up with Drummond and Towns, and next to them, Millsap. Because for the people who have Jokic, now I'm sort of getting it. So I sort of enjoy that hippity-hoppity. I don't think it's a must at all. And again, Blake is now out of this lineup because, especially with the Tim news, I went double big at shooting guard with this one. I have Doncic and Donovan Mitchell, but certainly Blake in that spot makes sense for me, and I don't mind Bagley. It's just going to be an ownership thing, and his price isn't that great on FanDuel, right? He's like 65. Is that I know it's 56 DK, and that makes sense for him being very attractive.
66.
66?
Yeah.
What's Millsap there? 7?
73 is my guess off the top of my head. If I go to it, it is 75.
75, yeah. That's a lot. But still very much in play, and what's again, it's the cream dream matchup.
Yep.
I am not shocked if Denver puts a whooping on Washington here.
No, not at all.
Like, Washington is on a back-to-back. Their best player is gonna play less. I don't know how much less, but less, I feel pretty confident. At this point, they are in the shit's going to have to go pretty goddamn weird for you to make the playoffs.
So let me pause you there. I know you just said, like, you don't know how much less, but, like, if you had to guess what his reduction is.
There's so many factors in play here. Like, there's his contract issue with.
That's where I was taking this.
Is that where you're going? He's another guy with if he makes All NBA third team, he can up into the. There's I have a list of 11 guys on a Word document on my computer. Is like these are guys who are going to fight to play all year.
Yep. If Bradley Beal qualifies for an All NBA team, he will be eligible for a Supermax extension.
Yeah, and he's
that
close.
Doesn't mean he's going to get it, but we all know that the Wizards are willing to hand that out.
He's close to it too. I'll go with 33 minutes in regulation. I think he comes well down.
Okay. I mean, if he plays 33 minutes, he is unplayable as far as I'm concerned.
Again, you have Donovan Mitchell against the Hawks at a reasonably tolerable price. You have Luka Doncic with Tim Hardaway out. In a decent matchup, you have there's a lot of other places to go at shooting guard too. So you have Wiggins, who, if you're not playing Towns, like one of the reasons that I had some reticence of spending up with the double shooting guard in this lineup, like I always try to think of the correlation and the other effects, is I don't have any exposure to the Timberwolves here in a not bad matchup. You have to think Wiggins or Towns are decent here. Like, it's not a lock. Maybe you only get 34 out of Wiggins and 51 out of Towns, and you did okay not having either one. But
I got some news for you.
Shoot.
Thomas Bryant starting. Satoransky, Beal, Brown, Portis, and Bryant.
Yeah, I think I may have ranked Bryant an A in GPPs. If not, he was a B, and I looked at it for a while because this is a big-ass front court. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was really going to enjoy watching Nikola Jokic push Bobby Portis' shit in for 7 minutes before they subbed. But, all right, now it's a party. He's power forward eligible, too, if you want to get away from some chalky Josh Jackson. This is exciting. Now I'm excited. I'm engaged and ready to go.
What's the impact there? How much does Thomas Bryant pick up over his normal not really playing enough minutes?
Right. He normally plays 19, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The time is relevant. It's 30 minutes until lock, and that's one of the early trifecta of games, not the late trifecta of games. He becomes the first reasonable center punt of the day on FanDuel, by the way. Punting center on FanDuel previously was, you could do it. There were enough good plays at other positions. You wanted to spend up at 4 of the other positions and play. But previously it was, I think, Biyombo would have been where you were forced to go. Which isn't complete insanity. If you were going to name a matchup in which Biyombo might need to play 30 minutes, this is it. Again, going to be kind of fun to watch Karl Anthony Towns beat the shit out of Willie Hernangomez and or Frank Kaminsky or whatever gets put in front of him. But if there's a spot in which you wanted to throw 30 minutes at Biyombo, this might be it.
I just gave Bryant 24, and I think that's going to get a lot of him in my lineups.
Yeah, and I think that's a good number. I will. Yeah, I think that's a good number, and good move by the team, by the way.
Yeah, why not? Especially now, what are you gaining out of making sure that Jeff Green gets more minutes?
Right.
Or Wesley Johnson, or whatever other asshole is going to soak up stuff with people out.
Yeah,
just give it to the youth for now.
So they're starting. Hold on, they're starting
Portis at the 4.
All right. Oh, they are starting Portis at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they're starting Beal, Brown, or Sadaransky. Help me out.
Sadaransky, Beal,
Brown, Portis, Bryant.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, just took me a minute for some reason to put all those pieces together. They're starting Portis at the 4. Hold on, I'm trying to think how this is all going to rotate out now. Okay, I like Portis. Well, I like Portis less by a hair. It's pretty close, though. Because I can see him ending up with a couple more minutes this way. Which helps.
Yeah, I have Portis at 28 right now. He's in play for me on FanDuel and not in play at all on DraftKings.
I think that's certainly the way to which I would lean.
Yeah. Nothing changes for Troy Brown. I'm probably a little less interested in Jabari.
Well, you know where I was.
But I do like the idea of him coming in with the second unit now.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of already was.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Jabari Parker on second unit by himself. No, if this game goes like it's normal, Bradley Beal is on the court permanently.
Right.
So, yeah. When you play 40 of 48 on a normal basis, there's not a lot of second unit burn coming around.
Yeah,
for Jabari.
That's a fair point. That's a reasonable, reason to like Jabari a little tonight. It's just I think there's 33 minutes of Beal instead of the 39 he averages or whatever.
Oh man, that's Thomas Bryant. Go get it, buddy.
3,800. FanDuel, I still really don't want to get there, but if you have a lineup where crap, due to I really want to play, I don't know, Trey and Donovan and Luka and Durant, we should talk about my best friend got shot narrative.
Yeah, is that a thing? People are so quick to say it, and it's just I'm weird. If my best friend died, I probably wouldn't give him any shits about the meaningless basketball game on a Thursday.
Yeah, I will go with my standard comment in situations like this, which is I think it increases the delta.
Yep,
I
that's
think
a great way to put it.
Variants, you could get Isaiah Thomas's sister game or Michael Jordan's father game, or you could get, 3 minutes into the game, he's upset and decides not to compete.
Right, we can't put someone's, we can't give our opinion on his emotional state.
We could, but that'd be even more conceited than we usually are, and that's a tough bar to get to.
True. So now I can't change anything for him. I didn't like him before. I don't suddenly like him because someone died.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, but Durant is just not in play for me. But I feel bad for him. I mean, it's terrible.
Of course.
I wish that he didn't have to go through with it or go through with a game today. I mean, there's a lot more important than basketball.
Yeah. And they should rest him. I'm not shocked if they rest him, by the way.
Not at all.
They have 5 games in 7 days this week. I would have given him a 5 to 10%. He was just rested. But
I'd be like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm sure that's probably what Steve Kerr says to him. It's your call today.
That's what I'm saying. Steve Kerr is a player's coach.
Yeah.
I mean, they still need the game. They're a half game up in the West or half game down in the West or whatever the hell. I mean, they're fighting for top seed here with the team that's about to go beat up on Thomas Bryant. But I'm in no way shocked if, they spoke earlier today. I don't know if there was a shoot around and he said to him, look, tell me how you feel later.
Yeah. And
I bet Durant will play because I think it's 90% he plays.
Yeah.
But the odds of him sitting went from 4% to 10% with this news or something like that. a very real chance he goes, look, but it's a game against a tough team. Just keep an eye on DraftKings and stuff. Thankfully, I'm not super, but I'm legit worried on like FanDuel of any of Golden State resting.
Yeah, that changes the game up a lot.
Yeah, I'm when you don't have late swap, I'm really worried about and they've been saying, yeah, we're going to look into resting guys this week, and they were going to rest Steph on Monday, but couldn't, or on trying to remember what game. There was a game they planned on resting him. It was Monday. They were going to rest him on Monday and then could not because whomever was out. Cousins just Cousins in that one. But yeah. So I'm one of many reasons I just don't see myself getting there. And again, everyone's healthy in theory. Someone could get rested, and it's the Pacers, which is not super sexy. So if you're building a lot of lineups, I feel bad for you because in one lineup you can just be like, no, I'm good on Golden State, thanks. Makes a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like you're playing your couple high price centers. You got some mid range guys I like. You can play Wiggins. We talked about Ricky Rubio, 5,200 on DK. I like a lot as a mid price guy. What do you think about Ricky?
Hop back over to it. I'm not getting as much as I anticipated getting. I love the price tag on DraftKings, 5,200. He's comically underpriced in relative to his FanDuel tag. I'm way more stars and scrubby today than anything else, so I'm not seeing myself get to as much Rubio. The mid tier is lacking a bit for me, just because of how many dudes I can pay down for and then subsequently pay up for a combination of two of the best 5 plays of the day in every lineup.
Yeah,
whatever center that may be.
Yeah, both my cash and GPP lineups are basically 2 guys at 3, 3 guys at 5, and then 3 guys at 9, 10.
Yeah,
basically what I'm ending with. I can see ending up with, obviously one more guy at 3 and bump one of those 5 guys up to 7, 8, whatever.
On our next ownership update, for what I would imagine will impact some of the Wizards. And I'll run my next crunch, and we'll really have some final numbers, and then we can get to final questions. Do you want to take a quick gander at some ownership?
Sure, let's talk.
This is what we've had previous to our most recent update. The only news we've had since then is that Thomas Bryant is going to start, so this isn't exactly going to get blown up or anything, but it will be impacted mildly. Yeah. Number 1, at the top of the board, Troy Brown, 55%.
Yeah, there's not much to say there. Well, I guess I didn't give a full take on him, but I think he gets over 30 minutes. He's a good basketball player. I mean, he's not total scrub guy. He's their pick from this year, and
that's what Adam was saying today. He's just not some end of the bench dude. He's supposed to be a future piece.
He's very solid. Yeah, he's gonna try to be their step into the Otto Porter shoes, basically, for lack of a and he's legit good. And even here in his rookie year, I'm sure he's averaging somewhere around, I guess, 0.85, 0.9 fantasy points a minute or something. He's not a bad basketball player by any metric. The matchup with Denver is not ideal, but they're home, and he just costs jack. So again, I think any reasonable projection has him in the 25 to 30 range, and for the minimum plus $100. Yep, that's about where the ownership is. I have no problem playing him. I have no problem fading him when he's that goddamn possible. He can get, they can stick Gary Harris on him. We'll teach him a thing or two. But I objectively, by any sort of just ranking him, I think you really have to like him.
Yeah, I'll anticipate having about 90% on both sides. So.
I have no issue with
that. Coming in number 2, Karl Anthony Towns, 37%.
Well, there's a conversation. It's really interesting. I suspect I'd be over that. It'd be close. It's difficult too, because again, center, and there's a lot of brilliant ass centers. So I find myself. I try to be really thoughtful when I talk about this, because I try to talk a lot to one lineup people. But when I say, when you're talking 37%. If you're doing one lineup, you're either doing 0 or 100%. So I can't look at it that way. I have to look at it as if I'm entering 10 or 100 or 150 lineups. And so I want to say I really, really like the play. The matchup is obviously by any reasonable standard brilliant against a Charlotte team that is not going to have Zeller there. So just and you have again no Teague, no Rose, all those guys still out. So
just got the ownership update. No real change here. He's at 35.
Okay, and that's Thomas Bryant pulled too.
Thomas Bryant up to 24 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, what do we have Tyreek Evans at? Would be the question I need to ask.
We'll play reverse Daddy likes on this one. Any guesses? Mommy likes. Is that the opposite of this? Mommy hates? I shouldn't be allowed to talk most days.
I will say we have him at 21.
I was taking a sip of my drink. You were a little low there. 35.
Wow. So
now remember, this is DK. FanDuel, much different story.
Oh yeah, no, I meant DK. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's really interesting. That'd be about where I was. Like it's just tough because if you're saying we have, what did we have Bryant at?
Bryant is at 24.
All right, so 24 there. Troy Brown at 55. Those three value plays are collectively over 100%. Yeah, that's well low. Yeah, I do think I do prefer them in approximate proportion to their ownership. Like that's about like I would be over on Brown, I think. I would be over on Reek, I think, but I might also be over on Bryant. I don't know. That's the one I'm definitely the most concerned about. So if they came in there at 55, 35, 25, basically, that's about right as far as how I feel about them, projecting them, any kind of safety or certitude. Keep in mind, it's not impossible at all for Jokic to stack up a couple fouls on Bryant pretty quick, like that,
like immediately.
That would not be a surprising outcome to me.
No, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
that Jokic.
He's pretty good.
I desperately want him to get first team All NBA. It is the only thing I care about in life.
Aren't you the one who has the offensive center in basketball argument with somebody?
I am. I say it to Laffy almost every day that we communicate.
And what is the remind me of the tenets of the argument?
It was just a conversation about him and Embiid. Laffy, monster Embiid fan. I am too as well. But Laffy being a Philly guy, I like poking the bear with non-positive comments to Philly guys.
Yeah,
and by the way, I'm 100% right. I mean, Jokic averaging like 12 assists per 36 minutes as a center. It's insanity.
Yeah, he's again, the announcers a few weeks ago said he is one of the best passing big men in the game right now, and I'm like, that is such faint praise. Like he is quite possibly and probably gets my vote as the best passing center ever.
Yep.
Exactly. Right now. So like one of the best passing big men in the game today sounds like a hell of a compliment. It's such faint praise. That's like being, Kyrie Irving has some of the better handles of all the guards in the Eastern Conference. It's like, that's really stretched out for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that Embiid is on a different stratosphere defensively, and that muddies up the waters of thinking about it.
Bacon starting over Batum. What's up with Batum? Is it his eye again? He missed 3 games ago or 2 games ago due to a sudden eye something. I have to presume he's not playing. I can't imagine they're bringing Batum off the bench. Hornets starting Walker, Bacon, Bridges, Williams, and Biyombo. Okay, Williams goes from
Rick
being...
Bonnell, where are you at, man? Where are your tweets?
Yep, exactly. We've been asked a few times favorite point guards on FanDuel. For me, it's probably Trey followed by Tyus, and then a few guys in any sort of point per dollar sense.
It's Trae Young for me for sure.
Yeah, Trey is my one by any reasonable.
Kemba is 2.
Kemba's fine. Yeah, I don't mind that. And on DK, he deserves more than we haven't even given him the passing mention.
Yeah.
And now, by the way, you're taking Batum out of there.
Yeah, I don't. That's really uncomfortable. I have not seen that lineup come out anywhere other than, I assume, the same place that you and I are seeing it.
I saw it in Slack, but it came from... Hold on, I'll look at I have a Hornets list.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly came from Fantasy Crabs. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean, that matters because that's really weird for Nick Batum to not start, and I need to know that that is real before I cut his minutes.
Yep. I am looking for.
I see nothing. Like Rick Bonnell's not at this game.
It's Rod Boone is the other guy, I think. Yeah. I got nothing from him, who's the Hornets beat writer for The Athletic. Those are the only two Charlotte beat writers I have recorded. So here we go with the hot technology. You can do this at home. Google Kemba Walker. Twitter search Kemba Walker and then click latest. See if anybody with the two. Really? FanDuel did this last week. I got nothing. That's really weird. Heads up, kids. Like, there's nothing.
So I mean, where does that information come from?
Okay.
I mean, Batum looks like the word bacon. Is that a typo? Hornets PR tweeted it out. Is that a true statement? Walker Bacon Bridges Marvin Biombo. They did tweet that out 4 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, they know. So Batum getting a day right. That's really weird too, because they're like they can't fuck a game. Like that's really weird. Like they're still whatever 4 or 5% for the playoffs.
Yeah, it blows my mind. So do you think Batum is playing?
Cody Zeller is out.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay, Gilchrist is out. Okay, so.
And how many minutes do you think Dwayne Bacon plays now?
Hold on. I mean, you're obviously making some supposition as to how they rotate, but Brago's been reasonably consistent, so I now have him at 23.
Batum was chalk before this.
Well,
he was the 9th most owned guy on DraftKings.
If you want my best guess, it's a wicked overreaction to how bad the bench unit was with Kemba out last game. Not out, but he had wicked foul trouble last game. I'm going all Northeastern all of a sudden. That's like 4 wickets for me today. But he had 3 foul troubles in the first quarter, and then they sat him the rest of the half, and they fell behind. And then he came back, and they got up again, and then they sat him, and they fell behind again. And maybe this is okay, Kemba can just carry the load by himself. And if he gets 3 fouls in the first 8 minutes again, which that's the first time that's happened, I have no good reason for this. I'm just spitting out that they looked at the last game and went, well, that wasn't good. Or something in the matchups with the undermanned opponent. I have no good reason. So I'm
avoiding Batum completely now, and I don't really have any interest in Dwayne Bacon.
Bacon for me is I'm going to still. I would now have him a peg above Justin Jackson.
That's fine with me.
That's, I have that level of interest. I imagine if I was building 150 lineups, I would now have somewhere around 5% Bacon.
I don't get the sense that Bacon gets to any sort of chalk level. He's terrible. 0.6 FanDuel points per minute over his last 30 days. You need to know that Dwayne Bacon's... You need to know Batum is out first and foremost and not just coming off of the bench. I can't imagine taking him over any of the high-level chalk value options that we have now. There's no way that I want Bacon before I want Tyreek Evans or Troy Brown or Justin Jackson, Josh Jackson.
In a single lineup, the news here is downgrade for Batum or at least increase in uncertainty.
Yep.
Downgrade for Jeremy Lamb a little bit, just spending more time next to Batum instead of next to, guys with less usage than Nick Batum in the later year.
Yeah.
But, if you weren't playing those guys, doesn't do a whole hell of an upgrade for Kemba too.
Should be, yeah. Is it? I mean, it's not like Batum is dominating the ball. He's a 14% usage rate guy. The crazy part is that like Bacon's the same, so I don't think it really changes anything for Kemba.
Yeah, I think it's but Bacon's actually even a little more comfortable bringing the ball up. So yeah, I'll call it neutral. It would not have been significant anyway. Like, you could have argued his projection goes from whatever 46.2 to 46.4, but whatever.
This is going to be craziness.
I love craziness. It's great. But yeah, I would sometimes the best play is not to move.
Yeah.
That does not do a ton for me.
Well, the move is not having Nick Batum any longer.
Right. Sorry.
Who is 27% owned now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you had Batum in, people, that's the
Hornets into the player development stage prior to the game. Borrego hinted the team could soon. Yeah, he was. It was amazing how blithe he was when they asked him.
Yeah. Did you hear that quote too?
Yeah, I heard that quote. They're like, "So, what are you going to do when you're, officially out of the playoffs?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll roll with it." And I was like, "Whoa, that was very chill."
Yeah, I heard it too. I was like, "You're not out."
Usually coaches bristle a little.
Yeah, you wait until like it's a real thing.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, that's probably going to happen in the next few days. We'll handle it then." I was like, "Okay."
Good luck, sir.
You don't want to kick back a little bit there? They're sort of talking about when you get whooped.
Yeah, that one blew my mind.
Yeah, that was a very interesting quote.
All right. Well, I'm loading up my stuff now. I didn't expect the Batum news there.
Yeah, no, get in there and then give these people, you've got what you want, now give these people air. Sorry.
Oh yeah, let me update the projections for everybody. I was being selfish there.
That's what I meant.
I mean, they're updated. I just haven't clicked like, hey, you can have
the
website.
How does this hurt Lamb off the bench if Batum is also off the bench? In theory, Batum being a more active, higher use player than whomever he would have previously been playing on the bench next to would hurt him. And Batum can, handle a little bit, et cetera, et cetera. It's not. I'm not super worried. If you have Jeremy Lamb exposure, I'm not pissing myself.
Yeah, if you have Jeremy Lamb, don't think that you need to change it because of this.
Yeah, no, it is whatever. It's talking out of my ass. There's looking at the situation, I think it's not a huge change for anyone other than if you have Batum.
Yeah,
you certainly, if he's chalky, I'd just get away now, because like at this point there's some chance of a nightmare outcome, and if he's still going to be owned even like 10-12%, there's just other guys in that range you can hop over to.
Oops, forgot to export DraftKings. Nope, forgot to export. Where's Nick Batum? Why not?
I'm going old school. I'm loading up my tweet deck. Let's go.
Do you not normally have tweet deck?
No, normally I have a sort of Google Alerts suite that covers everything for me, but it missed that one, so I'm not cool into it. But yeah, so Hornets and player development. That is, I mean, I guess that may be the wrinkle. Nick Batum is whatever 29. Dwayne Bacon is 20. Like,
wait. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Is Nick Batum really only 29?
I top of my head at that.
I feel like he's 800, but I think you're actually right.
I'm going to take under Nick 800 for Nick. He is 30. I just missed it. He is 30 in 3 months.
Okay. So if we're looking at my exposures now, I haven't touched anything, but I have them here just to get my like placeholders and stuff. 97% Troy Brown on FanDuel, so we're almost there.
Almost there. Wait, the real question is, why'd you fuck up those 3% of your lineups?
Yeah, I don't know. You're just not there.
I'm not missing any like key questions or anything. I feel like I don't.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes to go right now. Kemba three-way. Kemba, Josh Jackson, and Fox, or Bryant, Trey, and Luka. That's a DK Cash question.
Kemba, Josh Jackson, and Fox.
Okay. Do you have Slack open by any chance?
I do.
Can you take a look at it and hit any questions for like the next minute?
Sure. Someone asked that, how does this hurt Lamb off the bench if Batum is also off the bench? Again, I covered that. Cousins and Millsap, or Josh Jackson and Drummond on DK in a GPP. I think those lineups are both great.
Yeah.
If you have Jokic, it is certainly the latter of those two. In a vacuum, I still probably am slightly playing the latter. I like Josh Jackson, even though I presume he's 25-30% owned. Although Bryant will knock that down 4% or something. But I probably slightly hinge towards the second one. But certainly if you have Jokic, FanDuel, Cash, Booker, and Bridges, I'm going to assume that is McCall, because they are both playing today. And I can see playing Miles Bridges and Cash on FanDuel as your punt. Actually, well, I guess next to Troy Brown it could happen. Or Mitchell and Barton. So based on the prices, that is McCall. We didn't really talk about Devin Booker. The price on FanDuel is pretty significant. obviously the matchup is not ideal, but again, he has to carry a lot of work for this team at this point. Even Tyler isn't there. That's more point Booker. So I, especially if I have Drummond or Blake, I'm going to take Booker and Bridges. If I don't, in cash, I'm still going to take Booker and Bridges over Mitchell and Barton. Barton in cash makes my ass hurt. Trey Burke thoughts for a FanDuel punt. I'm fine with it. Bacon and Booker or Rubio and Millsap with no Jokic. Rubio and Millsap for me.
I'm back, by the way.
Okay, then handing it over to you. 3 questions at the bottom I haven't touched, starting with love for Ingles.
Any love for Ingles on FanDuel or DK?
Yeah, he's, matchup, baby. Like, I can't strongly advocate it, and somewhere between 2 and 4 guys on the team are going to be really good. You worry about a blowout and this. Like, I don't love him. He gets one of the more difficult defensive matchups, but Hawks. So sure.
Like, I actually don't have him at all. His minutes are down.
Yeah.
So he was in that 34, 35, 36
Blame
range
Kyle
constantly.
Korver, motherfucker.
Last 6 games, either 24 in his last 2, 30, 30, 31, and 30 in the 4 before that. So I've rolled his minutes back, and he's just a little bit too expensive for me. And he's a guy that I normally play quite a bit because of his position.
Yeah, no, we've talked about him a lot. We're like 61 on FanDuel. You're like, he's not good, but he's better than these other guys. Like,
right.
We get there a lot. So yeah, I'm right with you. I'm still fine playing him in a tournament. Like, it's just a matchup in which, weird shit can happen. He'll be low on compared to almost all the other. Like, he will be the lowest owned starter on that team.
That is for sure.
So yeah, I'm absolutely fine with it.
Righty. Where was that question?
I don't know, but we're under.
Okay, there it is. Maxey or Marvin Williams in a FanDuel GPP?
Marvin Williams.
More confident in Bryant or Jackson in DK cash?
Much more confident in Jackson.
Same. Kojo or Melton, raw DK points?
No back-to-backs. So Crawford will be in. I'll very hesitantly say Kojo.
Okay. Any thoughts on Gary Harris?
I think he's playable on DraftKings. That's just fine.
Wiggins, Saric, or Rubio, Josh Jackson, DK cash? Jesus.
Rubio, Josh Jackson.
I'd probably go Wiggins, Saric, and I don't like any of those things.
You don't like Rubio, Josh Jackson in cash?
I don't know about Rubio in cash.
That's fair.
Now, you know what? In DK cash, yeah. Sorry.
Right. That's it's just matchup, baby. Like, if it goes badly and they crush them and he plays 23 minutes, how many fantasy points would you project him for? I'd have him at like 25 and a half or 26 or something. If that's
I couldn't get that FanDuel price out of my head.
Yeah, no, the 66 or whatever the hell the number is there is.
We are locked.
Well, is it 2 or 3 7:00 games? Because I know there's at least one 7:30.
2 7s and a 7:30.
All right, let's take a look at some ownership, baby.
Let's do it. Wife wants me to go to the wine store. I'm not going to do that.
Aww. Every time I talk to my wife, I feel like I'm at the wine store.
Me too.
I hope she didn't hear that.
I'm happy she's going. I pretty much drank all the red wine she had here, so we need to stock up.
You're a wine guy.
I've been a wine guy a lot more lately. Wine and cognac is basically everything.
Ooh, I didn't know you cognac.
I do. I get into the Henny from time to time.
So, do you enjoy your geographical drink naming trivia? Like, what is cognac called if it is not from the Cognac region of France?
Just brandy? I don't know.
I think it's brandy. That's actually the one I wasn't sure on.
Yeah.
The fun ones are, so champagne is sparkling wine.
Yeah.
Not champagne. And then whiskey, if not from Tennessee, I believe. Oh no, bourbon. Wait, I'm bourbon. Bourbon, if not from Tennessee, is instead called sour mash or something. I don't know. I obviously have not practiced my geographical drink trivia, but
I was never a liquor guy until 3 years ago. I gave myself the New Year's resolution to drink more brown liquor.
There you go. I was never a liquor guy until my wife asked very nicely. So, number one owned.
I'm laughing. You can't see it.
Okay, number one. I don't know what to do. Number one, Troy Brown, 56. 56.
I got 77.
Prosecco from Italy. Very good. Someone is filling me in on my my apocrypha. You have 77? Oh,
Yes.
there you go. Carl Anthony Towns, 52.
I have 41, and I'm pretty happy about it. I wish I would have had less, to be perfectly honest.
Hi, nurse. 52. Jiminy Swiminy. Yeah, with the options, I think that's fine. Kemba Walker, 29.
31.
There you go. Nikola Jokic, 23.
30.
Thomas Bryant, 20.
20?
Yep.
I went big. 42.
Wow. You go, girl. Jamal Murray had it coming under this, 20.
36.
Wow. We didn't even talk about him.
Yeah, his price on GK is crazy.
Yeah, 6K is very exciting. Don't
Yeah.
understand me. The upside is there. Just 20 is a pretty big number. I don't think it's terrible, but I'd have been 10 to 15, I think. Andrew Wiggins, 19 and a half.
I am very deep into this game, I think. Or this time. 36?
Yeah, so you're gonna
I'll know what's what.
Wiggins float away as the evening goes on. That's what you're saying.
Well, I hope they're there at least.
Yes. If you don't have a big currently winning $68,000 tag at the end of the early games, you're not gonna have one at the end.
No.
Jabari Parker, 18. We know how I felt about that.
I have 4.
Yeah, that's good, man. Josh Okogie, 16.3. Your thoughts?
I'm pretty sure I have 0.
That's insane.
Did I miss something?
That's insane.
Is Wiggins out?
If he is, then the 20% Wiggins is certainly gonna.
Yeah, I don't have any. He didn't come up in. He didn't come up in 250 lineups on
he had
Fantasy
2
Coacher.
games in a row. Like, I didn't even think about him because he had 17 bad games before that, but he literally had something like 35 real points in his last 2 games after having 35 real points in the 9 before that or something. Like, I'm gonna pull him up now and take a look, but he
What is his ownership again?
16.
I didn't get him in a single lineup out of 250.
Yeah, he doesn't rate that well. 16.3. Right. So I'll give you an idea why. Ready? This is makes and misses, or this is just shooting last 10 games. Ready? 1 for just shots from the field. And again, in many of these games I'm about to read, even at the beginning, he plays 26, 30, 21, 19, 26 minutes. Ready? 1 for 4, 1 for 3, 2 for 5, 2 for 2, 1 for 5, 1 for 6, 0 for 4, 1 for 2, 8 for 14, and 6 for 9 in the last 2. 21 and 19 real points in the last 2 games. His real points in the 8 previous to that were 3, 2, 6, 6, 3, 2, 0, and 2. So yeah, in the absence of all those other guard type dudes, he has taken up some offense, but I would point out immediately that, and then, by the way, 3 for 6 and 3 for 7 from 3 in those 2 games. But shout out, he is not going to shoot 63% from the field. He is not going to make 50% of his 3-pointers. He is not going to get 3 steals like he did in his last game.
No.
I mean, he's still, but he's also 3,900.
Right. It's not like he's the flat minimum.
More than Troy Brown at identical positions. He is 400 more than Tyreek Evans.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I would, in a vacuum, I think he's fine. He is gonna play 30-ish minutes, maybe 35. And again, he played 30 and 35 exactly in the last 2 games. Now to look at it. But I would project him for 23 fantasy points or 22 or something. Like, he is most of the year been pretty low guy. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe this is his Jalen Brunson moment, where he literally went from, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just watching to, okay, I'm getting involved, I'm shooting now, but
see what Alex had him in the rankings. He was a D points score, which obviously is the case, and a B value, so unplayable essentially.
Also, hold on.
Yeah, what do you have?
Yeah, I was gonna think we have those report card things for Alex's rankings. We should spread it out and get mine in there too. I have him at a C and a C.
Okay.
Which, meh. Like I'm fine with him, but not at 60. At 16% is lunacy. If he'd have been, I guess the matchup's good too, kind of. Not as good as Washington or whatever, but Charlotte, you're meh.
Like if you told me that Okogie was 4% owned, I'd be like, oh, that's a really fun like leverage pivot.
Yep, 16 is a bit much. Okay, well we've set ourselves up for 60-point Okogie night pretty well, I think, you and I.
Yeah.
We've really queued that up.
Cal, cool. This is the one I'm winning for you, man. Eddie and I are going to be right on this.
Let's hope so. I'll get back to you on the minutes later. Paul Millsap, 15.
I have 16.
Okay. It's Dario time. Dario Sarge, 14.5.
14.5?
Yep. I'd have had well less, and I'm a big Dario guy.
I have 7.
Yeah. Nick Batum, 13. Good luck.
I don't have any.
Hopefully you do not pay the rake. Jeremy Lamb, 11.5. Should be fine.
I don't think I have any. Oh,
wow.
Just 4%. 4%. Okay.
Still, that's strong. I mean, these look good.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, 8.
2.
Yeah, exactly. Tyus Jones, 7.3.
I'm nervous to look at this one. I think I have a lot of him on FanDuel.
Yeah, FanDuel, I would. Yeah. FanDuel, I think I had him second in my rankings barely.
I don't have him on DK.
I'd train him. You have none on DK?
None on DK.
That's amazing, because you have probably 20% on FanDuel. It's amazing how sites differ.
It might even be more than it was earlier. It was more than that earlier.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous to find out what it actually is. Let me see.
Well, especially with noted usage hog Josh Okogie out there next to him, like he's never going to touch the ball.
I'm sorry, I had to close my sheet. I'm reopening it.
Look at all my sheet.
Like it. I'm really excited to see how Josh Okogie shakes out now. Because apparently other DFS providers were touting Okogie, and we didn't really talk about him anywhere across our entire platform today. So I'm excited to be right. I played 23% Titus on FanDuel.
Again, this show, we don't talk about every player. So if we'd have gone through and talked about every player from the game, he'd have gotten a cursory mention for me, and I would have said, look, I don't think this keeps up, and ... But, I don't feel a horrible sense of guilt with 2 massively better wing value plays. Anyway.
Yeah, no.
Miles Bridges, who I would actually still prefer to Okogie, though that one would be close. But I would actually prefer Miles Bridges. I would take a straight up bet right now on Miles Bridges fantasy points versus Josh Okogie. Be close, but I slightly prefer Bridges. I actually kind of like the spot for him.
I have Bridges in one lineup.
Yeah, I don't love him, and again, there's just amazing value, but like FanDuel especially, where it's extra to get to Tyreek, and you can double punt small forward, and like I'd have had some shares, and here he's 5.5%. Marvin Williams, 4.7.
I have 4.
Mason Plumlee, 4.2.
I don't have any.
Tomas Satoransky, 4.
7.
Dwayne Bacon, 4.
I don't even know where to look for his name because I didn't look for it all day. I don't even know like the range. I assume 0. Nope, 2.
There you go. You got some. Will Martin, 3.3.
0.
Gary Harris, 3.16.
Has to be 0.
I don't know. DK, that price was, I mean, I don't love it, but
it's 0.
It is 0?
Yeah.
Bobby Portis, 3.13.
0.
Frank Kaminsky, 2.1.
0. 2.
Jeff Green, 1.75.
Certainly, it's definitely 0.
I would have had a little of this one. Monty Morris, 1.65.
Hope I do. Yeah, I got 1.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would have had a little bit of this one. Like, I do think that game could very possibly blow out. And yeah, he's going to get back the swath of minutes that they sympathy chucked to Isaiah Thomas here. So he's going to play whatever 26, 41 or 43 or whatever the hell his price is. I have some interest in Monty. Next, his teammate Malik Beasley, 0.46.
I don't have him.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Let me think if there's anyone on this list I think you have. I think you may be done. I'm guessing you're done, but here we go. I'm just going to run out these names. They're all between 0.5% and 0.1%. Tony Parker?
Nothing.
Keita Bates-Diop?
No.
Bismack Biyombo?
I at least have to search for that one.
Yeah, I don't think so today.
I don't have them.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it makes sense mathematically. Tolliver, I can imagine, but I doubt.
I do not.
Torrey Craig?
I do not.
Biles? Gorgie Jang?
Nope.
Sweet Dick Willie Hernan Gomez?
Nope.
Sam Decker?
Nope.
Malik Monk?
Nope.
Juancho Hernan Gomez?
Nope.
Trevor, Isaiah Thomas, you did not technically play yourself, but you pretty likely played yourself. Got to hope for blowout run. Trevor Ariza, 0.02%. Congratulations. You actually played yourself.
I'd probably rather have Ariza than Isaiah Thomas.
What's funny is there's 1 time out of 10 you'd be right.
Yeah.
And 1 time out of 10 you'd be even.
Yeah.
He's not good.
No, not so much. Feel bad for him.
I feel bad for him too. I mean, I feel only so bad for a guy who will still, made $5 million playing basketball. Like, or however much, more than 5, but whatever.
I'm playing a pretty tiny violin for him.
Yeah, exactly. Like he played, he played the years with the Kings and whatever, and he had a great story, and last pick in the draft, and had some amazing moments, and got paid. I don't know what the sum of his total. That's a fun game. Let's look it up after you and I guess. How much money?
He was on a 4-year, $32 million deal. Like he was on 4 for $8 a year or something like that. So I
was going to say, let's guess how much he makes. But yeah, on his rookie deal plus that, I imagine hearing something in the range of $45 million playing basketball. So
yeah,
I will. The tears will be few, but sincere.
It would be nice for him to add another, double it easy, because he would have doubled it easy.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. And he turned down something. I think
he turned down 4 for $80 or something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, he turned down the Jabari Parker deal, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. Great idea for both of those guys. We'll see if Jabari picks up that $20 million option.
I think he will.
Unless the Wizards like him. Like, they're pretty much boned for cap for a while. So if they're like, we'll give you, 3 for 40.
How many more years are they stuck on Mahinmi? Is it this and 1 more?
Yeah.
And then obviously Wall is just...
Wall hasn't started yet.
Wall has like 4 more years at 45 per, whatever. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's that one is an albatross. It's the worst contract in the league. It's not even close.
Yeah, certainly by real sense of how damaging it is to the team.
Yes. I mean, he will literally provide 0 value next year.
Yeah, almost. I don't think he is expected to play. He might play at the end of the year, I think, is the, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could start to come back and play 18 minutes a night in March or whatever.
And, he won't be good. No one coming back from that is just immediately, particularly a person who has relied on his straight line speed from the time that he got into the league.
John Wall, and you were like, oh, well, even if his athleticism goes, his elite skills, and I mean, like, he was in that fastest guy in the league conversation, so... Boy.
So Beal on 27 next year, Jabari on the option of 20 million. Oh, it's a team option? Yeah, they're not picking that shit up.
Yeah, they're gonna buy.
But I think he might come back. 37.8 million for John Wall next year.
How much?
37.8.
It scales up to like 45 in 3 years.
There's a player option in 2022 for $46.87 million.
I'm gonna go ahead and say
he's gonna pick that up right now. He would sign that deal today.
He's on the Bobby Bonilla deal.
Yeah, for real.
That's wow.
What percentage of the people in the United States that follow baseball and understand and know that the Bobby Bonilla contract is a thing understand what it is?
They have to know that it exists.
Yes, like people that are like, oh, Bobby Bonilla contract. The percentage of people that say something along those lines. How many of them like would have understood the concept when it got signed? Like 5%?
Very few.
Like, the amount of people that are like, well, the time value of money on this contract is minuscule.
Yeah. $1 million now versus $1 million 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the, I mean, it's like the payout in the lottery.
Right.
You want your $12 million a year for whatever 35 years, or do you want, 165 million now? And it's like, usually now is right.
By the way, Mahinmi is 15 next year, and that's it. And then they'll have the player option of 5.6 million for Dwight Howard.
Ooh, probably taking that.
Do you think they bring? Yeah, for sure. Do you think they bring back Ariza?
I do.
I mean, he likes it there.
Right, he likes it there, and they like him. I mean, there is a real mutual thing, and I don't know why he likes it there, but he could have gone he could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere he could have gone to Houston if he wanted. And he said, "Nah, I'll go back to Washington." What in the crimson? Sorry. Usually in basketball, it reminds me of like Kyrie wanting to go to Boston. Like, I do understand his motivation, and again, he was traded, but it was like Kyrie pushing to get out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Usually, people go for one of two reasons: you're going to get more money, if you want more money, or you're going to win a title.
Yeah.
And he pushed as hard as he could to go somewhere where he was guaranteed less money and was probably less likely to win a title. Now, he ended up in Boston, which was okay, and LeBron left Cleveland. But this was...
I was going to say, he missed a year of being likely to win that title.
Right.
I think he knew that LeBron was adios, so he knew Cleveland was going to suck.
Right. So it was one of those things where I'm like, respect for just... It's not like there's, any horrible situations. Boston's, incredible venue and basketball town, although not always the nicest place for people of color. Professional athletes, I should say. Getting better, but I'm old enough to... I have sat in the Garden and heard some words that I won't say on air. And again, I've said several words on air today I'm probably not supposed to say already, but we're not going that far. Yeah. Yeah. Not Utah style, don't get me wrong.
Anthony Towns with 11 already. Fantasy points. Gary Harris on a little bit of a heater.
Yeah, see? Told you. Get yourself some.
Well, yeah, when I see that he has 10, I wish I had him.
See, from the early games, I had Troy Brown, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns my last version. I had Wiggins and Towns in there. I guess it was DK. Wiggins was pretty cheap.
Kemba misses a 3.
If I'd have messed around with this, I'd have probably offloaded Wiggins if you have Towns in there. But yeah, Carl's good. 2 per minute.
Alrighty.
About what he does. You want to hear what I had on FanDuel?
Sure.
Okay. I had on FanDuel Tyus, Trey, Luka, Donovan, Troy Brown, Bielitsa, Saric, Josh Jackson, and Jokic.
Let me see if I have it.
I was about to say, you may have... I bet the Bielitsa is what's going to toss you, because you're going to have plenty of everyone else.
Yeah, I won't have the Bielitsa part, but I'll have most of that.
Yeah, I'm sure
it was Trae Young and Tyus.
Yeah, so that'll let you filter. And then Doncic and Mitchell, which I like because I think they both do have giant game upside, and Doncic is expensive enough. Not that many people are going to go there, especially over Booker and Mitchell, etc., etc. And
I have 2 Doncic Mitchells with Tyus and Trey.
You have 2 that match all 4 guards?
Yeah.
Okay, then Troy Brown, which probably still matches all 4.
Correct.
Okay, Jokic?
I have Gobert in both of mine. And
so
here's how I close out after ignoring Troy Brown.
Sure.
Dorian Finney-Smith, Bagley, Saric, Gobert.
All right.
Will Barton, Marvin Williams, Frank Kaminsky, Rudy Gobert.
Barton Kaminsky. Yeah. I like it.
That was not a highly ranked lineup. It was 98th of the 150.
Well, I'm sure
I do like your builds better than mine.
Well, yeah, but I'm tossing together. I mean, again, I didn't spend an hour on it. It's what I threw together and just tinkering around all day.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you're slotting higher in my opinion.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, but that should be the case. Like, you can't build, your
Absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely should.
right. If you built one, it would rank somewhere in your top 20.
Yeah.
When you build 150, you're gonna that's pretty standard. Let me see what I had on DK. I don't know.
Let's see.
Pull up my screenshot. Last blush.
Who did you have at center in that one?
Jokic.
Okay.
The Joker. That's pretty chalky. I mean, other than the double spend ups there and Bielitsa, that's pretty chalky lineup. But again, I think people misunderstand how much you need to get away from the chalk.
I have one with Jokic, Saric, Doncic, lots of that area of the country in that particular lineup. But that one had Barton, Bagley and Buddy Hield.
Okay, see, fine with all that. DK. I think I can say this. 3 guys have started. 3, I think. Again, I just have a screenshot. Yeah, okay. Sure. Rubio. Talk about him. Troy Brown. Pretty simple. Wiggins and Towns. Josh Jackson. Luka. Tyreek and Drummond.
See.
But again, I didn't update it after the start of the show, so that's the screenshot I took at 5:58.
You said Rubio?
Rubio, Brown, Wiggins, Jackson, Towns. For the starting 5, if you will.
Rubio, Brown, Wiggins. Okay. Jackson, Towns. Rubio, Brown, Wiggins. That's Saric. Rubio, Brown. Oh, and you're reading that in like literal position order, right?
Yes. I'm top downing it.
You had Tyreek, Luka.
And for once, they're actually in the right positions.
Wait,
Since
what?
I don't actually enter it, I don't give a shit. So usually I end up with, like, I have 7 o'clock guys in the bottom spots because I'm not actually putting it in any contest, so who gives a shit? But I actually have 3 late guys in the late spots. Unintentional, but pat myself on the back.
Rubio, Brown, Josh Jackson, Luka, Tyreek. I think you said all 5 of those names, correct?
Yep, they're all in.
Okay.
After the guys you named, I have Wiggins, Drummond.
I have one with Jokic instead of Drummond.
Okogie has taken more shots so far than anyone but Wiggins. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look. God damn it.
He's got, I don't know, I'm scrolling down. 5 fantasy points right now.
That's too much.
It's just, Kemba is just getting annihilated.
In 8 minutes.
Yeah. And I have more than I would like in that scenario.
Yeah, Josh Okogie, 2 for 4 from the field. I mean, it's such a misrepresentative thing to say. The guy in the chat says, Okogie has more shots than anyone but Wiggins. The shots taken by the starters are 4 for Okogie. The other 4 guys have 3, 3, 3, and 5. So, yes, he was 1 ahead, and Towns just took his 4th shot. So he's tied with Towns, who is going to triple-double here, maybe? He's got 3 assists already.
Let's hope.
Get there.
Alrighty. I'm going to go eat some food.
Yeah, sounds good. That's a strong plan. I fully endorse it. Gary Harris, baby. Told you, 7, 2, 1, and 1 so far.
Not a bad start for Gary.
And Jamal Murray. No accrued statistics. Just nothing.
Great start.
6 minutes. A missed field goal. And that'll do it.
Great start. Great start. That's Jamal Murray for you.
Burning through the world. Jokic 5-4 or 5-1, 4-1. Usually you're supposed to say points, rebounds, assists in that order. So 5-1, 4-1, 4 dimes already for Joker. Millsap 4-2. Troy Brown 4-1-1. Thomas Bryant 6-2 in 8 minutes. That's not bad. Take that. Bradley Beal 2-5. That's pretty poopy. Satoransky 5-2. Just yelling out random stats now and none of that interesting. So yeah, let's go eat.
Alrighty. Best of luck for the rest of the night, guys. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in the morning. Live before lock, the promo code 50% off. And have a good night. Adios.
Bon chance.